Hello everyone, my name is Ikenna from Smiling Sun. Everything solar installation, everything inverter installation, everything going green. How you guys doing today? And right before me, we have two energy storage devices, which are essentially your batteries. Okay, we have a lithium iron phosphate battery, live PO4. And of course, we have the good old tubular battery, open flooded lead acid battery. So, in your mind, I'm sure you're wondering, what exactly is the difference between these two batteries? So if that's what you're thinking and that's what you're wondering, then you're in luck, my friend, today. Because I'll tell you exactly 15 differences, all right? You heard me right. 15 differences between these two types of battery. But for you to find out, you definitely have to stick around. You're welcome back, guys. We're trying to find out what the differences are between the lithium iron phosphate battery and your tubular battery, open flooded lead acid battery. So what exactly are the differences? If you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe so that you're always updated about what's going on in the world of solar technology. All right, everything you need, all the trends, every single thing you need to learn or need to know what to do. Okay, don't forget to comment, don't forget to share, and do not forget to like. Thank you so very much, guys, for your support. We appreciate it. So I will tell you 15 differences between these two batteries. That's your lithium iron phosphate battery and your good old tubular battery. I love this battery, absolutely. All right, so I think the budget will be a very good place to start because the budget has a way of limiting and constraining you to certain components, as the components are not all the same price. Some components are more expensive than the other, and in this instance, the lithium battery is more expensive than the tubular battery. It's ridiculously very expensive, annoyingly very expensive. All right, so if you had to convert the value of a lithium battery into a tubular battery, that will give you 4 batteries in terms of the actual energy you can drain out of the batteries. So the lithium battery can get you twice the size of the same battery. So this is a 5.1 kilowatt battery. So if you have to convert the value of this battery into the tubular battery, it can afford the tubular battery twice. So that means it can give you 8 batteries. And that's ridiculously very expensive. So if you don't have so much budget, then you shouldn't be looking the way of the lithium battery. You should be looking the way of a tubular battery. So the lithium battery is more expensive than your tubular battery. So let's look at the weight. The lithium battery, as compared to the tubular battery, is considered to be a lightweight. So the lithium battery weighs less than a tubular battery. So I always try to convert the value of the lithium battery into the tubular battery. Each of the lithium battery, this is a 5.1 kilowatt lithium battery. So this lithium battery here weighs around 54 kg, whilst 1 unit of the tubular battery weighs 54 kg. But if you have to convert the true values of a 5.1 lithium battery into a tubular battery, then you know that the tubular battery is a whole lot heavier than the lithium battery. So in that regard, like I said earlier, the lithium battery is a lightweight. So if you're not well fed, you might have trouble lifting up the tubular battery, but you can take up the lithium battery with ease. So now you know the lithium battery weighs less than the tubular battery. So let's look at the DOD, the depth of discharge. How much energy can you drain out of this battery? I think that's the one everybody pretty much is very interested in. Because after all said and done, it's an energy storage device. So how much of energy can you store in your tubular battery and how much energy can you store in your lithium battery? And at the end of the day, when I want to use this energy, how much of this energy can I extract or drain out of these batteries? For the tubular battery, the energy that is available to you for you to use is 50%. You should never go below the threshold of 50%. That's what's available for you to use. You can't drain more than 50% out of these batteries. Once you begin to drain the batteries beyond the threshold, which is 50%, you are putting the cells of the battery in danger. But for the lithium battery, it's a lot more extended. You can drain 95% energy stored in this battery without putting the cells in danger. So you see the difference. So it's a major difference. Right here in the lithium battery, you can drain 95% from the lithium battery, but for the tubular battery, you can only drain 50%. So this essentially gives you more backup time, all right, than the tubular battery. The lithium battery is more environmentally friendly. So whilst the battery is charging, it doesn't emit any hydrogen or any form of gas into the atmosphere. All right, so it's safe, it's friendly. You can put it inside the house, you can install it, it's beautiful. But it's not the same case for the tubular battery. So whilst the tubular battery is charging, it emits hydrogen and gas into the atmosphere, which can be considered to be harmful to the human health. All right, so what you need to do for this to be very safe is that if you have space on the outside, it's advisable for you to put your tubular batteries outside. But if you have a place on the inside that is well ventilated, you have windows close to it and all of that, then you can also put your tubular battery there. So the tubular battery, while it's charging, emits gas and hydrogen into the atmosphere. But the lithium battery does not emit any form of gas into the atmosphere. So this is the difference between the two of them. You're already aware of the battery charge cycles, all right? You first of all have the bulk charging, then it goes to absorption, and then it comes back to floating, and periodically you go to equalization. So for the tubular battery, it goes through the 4 battery charge cycles. But for the lithium battery only goes through 2 cycles of charging, which is bulk charging and floating charging, all right? So once the set voltage is achieved through bulk charging, it reverts back to float charging. So whilst the tubular battery will go through the entire 4 charge cycles of the battery, you only need 2 battery charge cycles for the lithium battery. So let's look at the service life. How long will the batteries last? So anyone who is buying a battery, of course, is very interested to find out how long the battery will last or how long you would have to rest before you replace the battery. So it's essential that you know how long these batteries are going to last, the service life that will give you before you start talking about replacing them. For the tubular battery will give you a minimum of 3,000 cycles. So you have somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 8 years if you're using a tubular battery. For the lithium battery gives you double the lifespan. You have a minimum of 6,000 cycles in your lithium battery. Okay, so that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 16 years. And in some cases, some of the batteries go as far as 20 years. So the lithium battery has more service life, it has more lifespan than the tubular battery. So that is another difference between the two of them. So let's look at the charging time, charging abilities. How much energy do you need to charge the tubular battery and how much energy do you need to charge the lithium battery? For the tubular battery, you're going to need a lot of energy to charge the tubular battery. You will need as much as, in some cases, you need like 8 to 7 hours to fully charge your tubular battery. But you can do that in 3 hours to 4 hours in the lithium battery. So the lithium battery takes less energy for it to charge quickly. All right, so you can do it in 3-4 hours while you're going to need to charge the tubular battery in over 7 to 8 hours. So it comes really handy in the days of autonomy. In those days when you don't have availability of sunshine, you will still be able to charge fully your lithium battery. But for the tubular battery, you're definitely going to struggle on those days to be able to fill up your tubular battery. Most likely, you might not be able to fill it up when you don't have that much presence of sunshine. So for the maintenance, the lithium battery is 100% maintenance-free battery. You don't have to maintain anything. All right, so once it's installed, keep using, no problem. But for the tubular battery, you would definitely have to do some maintenance. Number one is you would have to hydrate the battery. So after 6 months, the electrolyte level, you can see from here, you can see the electrolyte here, right? So after around 6 to 7 months, the electrolyte is definitely going to go down. And this happens because whilst the battery is charging, it releases hydrogen into the air, so the gas escapes. So you definitely have to hydrate the battery. So you need to fill in distilled water into the battery. So you need to monitor that, because if the battery goes below the threshold, you will see the line. It will expose the plates and damage the cells of the battery. So that's number one maintenance you will need to do for the tubular battery. And the second maintenance will definitely have to be cleaning up the terminals. There's always going to be a corrosion at the terminals. So you need to clean up the terminals, because if you don't clean up the corrosion, there's going to be a restriction of free flow of current. Okay, so once you have the terminals all cleaned up, then you use petroleum jellies and apply to it. And voila, you're back again to using your system. So there has to be some form of maintenance, all right? Ensure that you don't put it in enclosed places as well. But for the lithium battery, you have nothing to worry about. It's 100% maintenance free. So let's look at the effect of your battery being on a standby mode. So if for any reason you're out of town, you're not close home, you're not using your batteries, that means you're not charging your batteries 4 months, 8 months, 1 year, or even 4 years. What are the implications? What are the effects it's going to have on your batteries? For the tubular battery, if you stay for a very long time away from your system and it's not being charged, the battery is going to sulfate or stratify. It's going to damage the batteries, okay? So the battery needs to be in constant charging, otherwise it's going to sulfate. But for the lithium battery, you can take a voyage. It doesn't matter. Have fun. Nothing is going to happen to your battery. So being on standby mode or not being charged for a very long time is definitely not going to affect the lithium battery. So whenever you come back and turn on your lithium battery, you're back in business, all right? But it's not so for the tubular battery, as the tubular battery needs to be constantly charged. When you're doing your solar installation, you also need to look at the space. What space do you have? Do you have a lot of space for you to store up your components, especially your energy storage devices, which are your battery? So if you have very limited space where you can keep your batteries, then you should look in the way of the lithium battery. The lithium battery needs less space for you to stack up the batteries, but the tubular battery will require a whole lot of space for you to put it. Imagine if your need requirements are a lot of energy, so you want to generate a lot of energy. So that means you also have to store that energy in an energy storage device, so you would have to get a lot of batteries. So that essentially translates to more and more batteries, and more battery means more space for you to store it. So if you have very little space and you also want to generate as much energy, then you should be going for the lithium battery, as it requires less space for you to store the energy. The lithium battery comes pre-installed with a battery management system that ensures that all the batteries are communicating with each other, the temperature is fine, the battery is shut down once it gets to the recommended threshold, basically taking care of the battery system. But for the tubular battery and other types of battery like the AGMs and the gel, you definitely have to buy an external battery management system, an equalizer that will also ensure that the batteries charge and discharge uniformly, just like the internal BMS of the lithium also ensures that all the batteries charge uniformly and also discharges uniformly. So the battery management system installed ensures that the batteries all last longer. The lithium battery comes usually as a full system. It could come as a 24-volt system, or it could come as a 48-volt system with a pre-installed battery management system right on the inside. But for the tubular battery, you most definitely need to get an external equalizer to connect to the battery system. With the lithium batteries, the wirings are a lot more organized and neater. There's no chaos of wires traveling from one end to the other. But for the tubular battery, you're going to have a whole lot of wires, in most cases in disarray. You have wires traveling from one battery terminal to the other. And it becomes even worse when you have parallel connections. So you have a lot of wires in view and all of that. But for the lithium battery, it's a lot more organized and concealed, and it's safe. You don't have any situations of you touching any of the terminals and you're experiencing any form of shock, no matter how little tingle it might be. So it's a lot more organized to have your wirings in your lithium battery, and it's a lot more beautiful to see. The lithium battery can be repaired when it goes bad, but unfortunately it's not the same thing as a tubular battery. Once one of the cells of your tubular battery fails, all right, so this is a 6-volt tubular battery, so it has 3 cells, but for a 12-volt tubular battery it would have 6 cells. So if anything happens to any of the cells, it's going to render the entire battery almost unusable, all right? It's going to make the tubular battery to perform really bad. But if any cell in the lithium battery goes bad, all you need to do is to take off the bad cell and replace it with a brand new one. Okay, so but you don't have that luxury right here in the tubular battery. So once the cell of the tubular battery has a problem, then it's going to affect the entire battery. You definitely have to replace the entire battery. But with the lithium battery, all you need to do is open up the lithium battery, remove the bad cell, and replace it with a brand new one. And the system goes back working as perfectly and as beautiful as it used to work. But for the tubular battery, you would have to replace the entire battery. So let's look at the efficiency between the lithium battery and the tubular battery, because efficiency comes tops to mind. Okay, so whilst you're thinking about how efficient is my inverter, how efficient is my charge controller, my solar panels, you're also looking at the energy storage devices, which are the batteries. Okay, which one is more efficient? Well, the lithium battery is more efficient. It gives you more backup hour, it gives you more backup time, all right, and it gives you that availability for you to be able to drain 95% out of this battery. But for the tubular battery, you can only drain out 50% out of it. All right, so in terms of efficiency, in terms of backup time, in terms of really being very potent, the lithium battery outclasses the tubular battery. That's all, guys. That's all we have today. Thank you so very much for being part of this. Okay, if you haven't subscribed, please kindly help us do, all right? And of course, you know that if you subscribe, you'll be the very first to be notified once we have fresh and brand new videos, which happens right here every single week. Don't forget to comment, don't forget to like, and do not forget to share. Remember, the more you subscribe, the more we can reach out to more people who also need this information, so we need your help. Thank you so very much for your support. We appreciate it. Bye, guys. See you in the next video.